And let's see how this is going to be used. So Utopia's lineup is going to be Muka, Papapowan, Rules, FC Dynamo, Colsoid, Bihu, and Shoku. Rulesic. Is it Rulesic, Mojo?
I read it Rulesic, but...
Rulesic or Rulesic?
Well,
Rules 1K.
He's
That's what I'm going to go for. If you put numbers in your names, guys, I'm just going to say the number.
Since he's from CIS, 1 is usually I. And they are playing, as I said, this is really offensive, and it looks like they're going to try to control the courtyard. There is a Shuku 1390 in a corner already. Papapowan and Muka are there. They're not openly crossing. The only difference is how they use Rulesic. I thought he will actually cover the 8 line, but they actually pushed him here. And it's not a bad choice because of the high damage dealers, Gunrunners only have Grilla. So Grilla would have to... Ooh, Commander dead on part shot. And he probably doesn't have... He probably doesn't have a medic.
No medipack, so that's going to be killer. It is the contest of the blue camos here. A little bit confusing for people expecting some kind of red camo on Utopia. Gunrunners have got this really cool blue, almost digital-like camo for their tanks, and Utopia have got the straight-up digital blue on their tanks. It's very much like the Chinese that you get. The modern Chinese armor has a digital blue like that.
Chinese amphibious units have it like that. Like I saw them on that parade when they did it.
It's cool. I like a lot of the camos nowadays. There's a lot of blue camos, however, though. A lot of the teams have blue emblems and stuff, so they've gone with blue camos.
There is some minor exchange of damage here coming in, but still Utopia is firmly in control of the map. The question is, spamming or good old HE.
HE in the face.
Now the thing is, if he manages to do that once or twice more, Utopia will actually be in a problem.
The accuracy of the Grilla, able to just zip through the holes of the...
There's the spot.
Actually, he's not on the other side, is he, Rules? He's sitting behind the...
No, he's there on this
behind
side,
the rubble
on 3
pile,
line,
yeah.
behind the rubble pile. And that's what I said, why I was surprised. Because I actually expected him to control the 8 line and them to be somewhere there where Shuku is with 3090. But they chose to use the light, more proactive, and not to approach that much with the tanks.
Unji just taking a little bit of damage there for peeking round the corner.
It's just a shot. The main problem is how much Rulesic got damaged, but also that commander on a Batchat, that's gonna be a serious issue for Gunrunners.
Danny looking for more targets again. Looks like he might come back around, just pop another HE shell into Rule's head, which is going to further antagonize him sitting in that position in the IS-7.
I don't know. I usually risk with my budget and I just play without fire extinguisher. I'm like, if I have a dead commander, I might as well shoot myself.
Yeah, because I mean, the thing to note is the Batchat only has, for people not quite familiar with high-level World of Tanks, the Batchat has only 3 crew members, and the commander, as well as giving you 6th sense, so with no commander, you don't have any 6th sense anymore. The commander also helps with the loading of the tank, so your reload actually suffers as well when you have a dead commander. So not only do you lose your vision range, but you actually lose the flexibility of the tank as well, which is really not good when you're playing at this level.
Muka lost some HP here for no real need. He made a little mistake and leaped over that kind of texture sandbag. So he lifted his armor enough for Will to pen him. He was quite lucky actually, because normal alpha of 113 is 440 average, and he got shot for 330, which is probably as low as it gets, and probably Will is having something to say about RNGs on TeamSpeak.
It was a rubbish roll,
what can you do?
It was quite unfortunate there. 330. Oh, Bihu trading shots with Ungi as they come down the hill now. Let's see, what can he make of it? Can he get another shot into him?
Bihu is an old damage dog, man. Like, he's been playing League for a while in different teams, and you can always rely on him to run away and do more damage.
Kolosoi just coming up here as well to give some support to Bihu. He's actually going to cover down into the middle road, as it looks like we're going to get a fight at the top right of the map here, Mojo. Strins are getting wrecked a little bit there in his Batchat. He needs to back off. Bihu trading with him one-on-one. Bihu's going to get the kill as Unji gets dropped on return. That's 2 for 1 right now. No,
and
2 for 0.
And they completely locked off everyone else from the Gunrunners team, so they cannot help. Will is getting wrecked. in the corner by the cross side. You can see Rolezi covering Papapavian there. Muka died in there in a corner, but the trade was good. Martin is now in reload. He's gonna get shot by Papapavian once, maybe even twice more if he chooses so, because he can pretty much ignore the 1390 more or less.
1390 is going to get a couple of shots into Papapawan, but he's going to be like, whoa, mate, just like carry on. Papapawan, no, actually connecting with the shots in return, taking a lot of damage here.
He's
not
pretty
a
much
great
like
trade. FC Dynamo rushing past him as Papapawan finally gets the kill on Enrico, but he took a lot of damage for that he didn't really need to take. Utopia look like they have control of this one, however. Gunrunners only with all the health on Danny. Can Danny connect here onto Colozoid? He wants the shot. Oh, he's going for the 113 instead. But cheeky little Shoku comes out in AMX and he's going to finish him off.
I know what's the problem. If Papapavian was playing Arty, he would probably dodge the shells and shotgun someone, man. But Heavy...
Shoku's clicking this button as quick as he can, trying to get shots out. But Danny reloads and Dynamo comes round to finish him off. And all we have is Storm left now here on Gunrunners. So this one is going to be 1-0 to Utopia. A scrappy win, but it's a win, and that's all that matters at the end of the day.
It's a win, and they played offensive defense, and that's all that counts. You wouldn't say it was really... It didn't end pretty, but still, in my eyes, this was really decisive win, no matter the only 2.4k or whatever, because those are just details. I would say, like, after saying so good things about Papapavian, nice shot there, I kind of cursed him a bit, and he really flunked this game completely.
Cast a curse, big time cast a curse. Watch this, guys, ladies and gentlemen. He's one to watch out for. Dead at the start, one shot.
He got, like, he missed quite a bit, and he peaked where he shouldn't. He got tracked on corners. He did everything wrong. But he'll wake up for some more open maps, I hope.
It happens, yep, it happens. So, I mean, Himmelsdorf can sometimes descend into a really scrappy matchup like that, and it was a lot of action really spread across the map. You had some fights down south, we had some fights down the top of the map. We had Bihu picking up a double kill at the start. Excuse me. Yeah, it could have gone back to Gunrunner's favour, but Bihu really pulled that one out the bag, and he died himself quite quickly after that, I believe, but he did get the 2 kills in quick succession. I actually tripped up over as I was calling the action because it was like Bihu's name popping up twice, and I actually thought he died, but he actually picked up the 2 kills, so nicely done from him.
Well, he is a survivor, and we can see the stats finally for this game because they are up. Dynamo, first damage dealer here with 3.3k. Nicely played. You never saw him in the first plan, but he was always there where he was lining up those shots with 50B as you are supposed to. Danny following him here, but I would say those shots, at least 2 of them, came too late.
Yeah.
So most of his damage, about 1500, came when everything was already done. Papapavian actually did a lot of damage here, but it just looked funny when we watched him on camera.
Yeah, he went off against that AMX, and the AMX shot him multiple times, and he didn't seem to do any damage back in return, which was really confusing. So he needed a teammate to come around and actually save him. The teams here, they have a very similar logo, so at a glance, it's not always immediately clear.
It's really hard when you watch them.
Who does the top damage?
Everything is blue, man. Like blue like screen, blue Utopia, blue Gunrunners, blue logos. Like, come on.
If you're in Silver Series right now, you're looking to come up into Gold Series, don't use blue in your logo and don't pick it for your camos, please.
But blue is the color of success. That's what like internet says, you know?
You should be going purple, like go hard, you know? Like immediately put purple in your camo and then you can just be the purple team. Be
but
the
there is
unicorns.
already one purple team. Pink is the way.
Pink? No, we need like yellows. We need oranges or something. We need something like Legends camo. At least it stood out, you know.
Lemons and oranges.
Yes, like no blues, no more blue camos.
Tomatoes maybe for red.
Or no more black and white camos as well. Like we have Katsnan, we have Ding, kind of similar as well. But make it bold, make it bright, make it like. I still think Gohard's got the coolest. It just looks so different from everything else. The black and
they're the only one different.
Purple. Yep. And they could have done all the different emblems as well on it as well. Would have looked cool, like whether it was digital or whether it was triangles. Anyhow, less of art time with Ektar and back to World of Tanks as we can look at the lineups coming into round 2 here on Himmelsdorf. Now, double E100 and Kramwagen.
Nice. and probably a heal play with this, obviously, with 1390. But Gunrunners do have this FV183 TD and a Grille. It's gonna be interesting to see how will Utopia try to fend them off and actually approach the cap.
And we have two T10s on Gunrunners. Two T10s that are T9s.
Yeah, you can use that to actually also attack the courtyard, and you can play it like that. But I would say Utopia lineup is all about go heal and go down after that.
So Utopia, you think up over the hill and come down into base one?
Yeah, last game Gunrunners actually tried to go with Kranwagen up, and they realized that from their side Kranwagen actually takes longer.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way. Yeah, it's a horrible trade. So Kranwagen going to be leading the charge on the hill, I'd imagine, holding that position. It's all going to be how Gunrunners react to this, because it's going to be quite a brutal pain train coming down. Let's find out as we can jump into Himmelsdorf for round 2. Are Utopia going to be stepping up into 2-0? Or are Gunrunners going to bring it back to 1-1? I think it's quite a tall order here for Gunrunners, to be honest. And there's no hill.
Interesting.
Banana Road push?
Utopia is going down with their Matrix never spotted E100s. They're never going to see it coming.
This is interesting. And the thing is
and
that
Kranwagen
Gunrunners, had they gone up over the hill, Gunrunners would not be in any position whatsoever to defend it. Is this something that they've scrimmed and they know it's going to come?
No. I didn't expect Gunrunners would go uphill or whatever. But I really didn't see E100s going down like this combined with Kranwagen. Yes, you can play hold down with Kranwagen there on a corner. Everything is that usable. Yes, this is where you would use T10, and this is a lot of info that now is given because they know Kranwagen is not on the top of the hill. Now they know that everything is possible, that even E100s are maybe not there.
So Enrico and FC Dynamo getting spotted out here.
That's what I don't like, when you give a free info to enemy. This is something that I keep telling to guys when you play Clan Wars or whatever, like, don't get spotted unless you really must, because any bit of info gives quite a lot of operational value to the other FC, because then he can plan his movements based on that. He knows where the other tanks must be. He saw Kranwagen, he saw 50B up, and he can already guess some of the moves that Utopia is doing.
Another interesting thing is the tanks that are on top of the hill haven't even gone aggressive on the top of the hill, so it's not like the Kranwagen's gone, although it's both. It's 250Bs are all the way up there. Okay. This is an unusual tactic from Utopia. It looks like they try to rely on Gunrunners coming at them, but Gunrunners are the defensive team. This is always strange when teams do this as attackers. They set something up thinking that the defenders are going to run right at them.
I don't think they're trying to rely on Gunrunners coming at them. They're playing risk here. They're playing risk. They took a lot of HP tanks down so they can survive a lot if they're pushed, combined with that Kranwagen and Bihu. And they will play a flank with these 50Bs and probably trigger a cap and try to split up Gunrunners in two and make them play skill. And at skill, Utopia is better.
So Danny taking a shot there in the FE and also got a damaged fuel tank. As we see, Storm has taken damage as well for Gunrunners. In return on Utopia, the only damage has gone out onto Rules and the Kranwagen. So not a lot happening at the start here.
This game is crazy, man. It's really crazy.
How would you break through this if you're Utopia, Mojo?
That's the problem. They have two TDs. When you have two TDs, you are bound to play slower, especially since they have that FV TD. Since they know where Kranwagen is, they should keep at least one TD watching over the 8 line, but they already pulled, they don't have the light tank or anyone to spot it properly, so that's the issue. They took these two T10s, and they're a bit stuck now. They have to actually brawl, but they would brawl against E100s.
Shoku starting out the base cap here as we see Enrico taking a hit in his T10. Mocha Papapawan coming around the south of the map looking for someone to feed on in the E100s. Can they both connect with someone else like Poor Will might be on the receiving end of both these shots?
Oh my god, what a timing. Oh my god, what a timing. Like, Muka doesn't even know how lucky he was at this moment.
He would have got clipped out there, wouldn't he?
He will get tracked and he will get damaged for at least 2 shells minimum. Maybe even more if he doesn't repair on time.
FC Dynamo and Colossoid coming around as well to lend their fire support, and it looks like someone's going to get eliminated in just a second as Muka getting shot up by Ondrax as we predicted earlier on. Colossoid taking a lot of damage in his AMX-50B. Muka has lost a track and he's lost a gunner as well. Will is still sitting pretty and surviving behind his rubble pile, and UTOPIA were not able to get any shots into him.
Yeah, a lot of time passed now. They had a surprise moment there, but they didn't use it. And let's see how flexible UTOPIA is now, because this is already time for plan B. Like this, what they wanted to do, it failed. And let's see how will they recover from that.
Shoku spotted out Danny there, sitting above in the FV. Enrico straight up behind Will here. This is really UTOPIA. They're all grouped up at the south of the map, and they don't really have any angles, do they, Mojo?
No. That's why I say this is a moment for a plan B, where they have to restructure the tanks and reconfigure how will they attack, where will they move, how will they cover each other. Shuko is taking some damage there. He paid the price for spotting Enrico, and it doesn't look well for UTOPIA still. Although the HP shows the same, they're not in that good situation. But still, if they keep their tanks unspotted, they can actually push again after 2 minutes there.
Enrico is spotted, but nobody really has shots on him. Ondrax is the one that can really cause a lot of problems if anyone tries to overcommit and tries to get shots up the rails, because then there'll be a little crossfire from him and he'll clip out anyone who overextends. Now, Rules in the Kramwagen. Danny actually getting the kill on Shoku. That would have been like being slapped by a god, the FV onto the AMX 1390.
Yet he took his 600 HP. He probably killed him 3 times over with his alpha. But as we see, UTOPIA is pulling away now. Losing Shoku is not that good because they needed him for a cap pressure so the other tanks can do a crossfire. So that's not really ideal situation. But as I said, they had a good game against Swift, beat them 5-0, and even managed to recover from some pretty dire situations. So honestly, for me, it's most interesting to see how they plan to go out of this one.
Rules taking a shot in the Kramwagen there. And then there's a rotation coming round here from UTOPIA. E100s, the last one's round on the rotation. They're going to try a play here up at base 2, but there's 3 minutes and 30 seconds, so they're kind of against the clock here in what they want to do.
They'll trigger a cap and try to provoke a bad reaction from Gunrunners, of course. But you see, Bihu just took a shot and immediately reloaded because he knows he has enough time before everyone gathers up, and he will need every shot available at that moment. Also, they know they can move a bit like this because Gunrunners cannot really do
3-man cap,
huge
Mojo.
counterattacks.
3 tanks in the cap right now, 24 seconds. They're going to try and force Gunrunners into coming at them to reset, and Gunrunners might be reacting a bit slow here. It's going to be hard to get the 2 AMX-50Bs.
Bihu got shot by FVTD, I think.
As they're going to take a lot of damage coming around to do that. We're down to 15 seconds, and here comes the push from Gunrunners in for the reset. It's all going to be on focused fire now. This is going to be the big fight in the top right-hand corner. We're going to see a lot of HP drop quickly. The HP advantage with Gunrunners, but the armor advantage with UTOPIA. How well can he use that armor?
They still have the cap going on with these 50Bs, but cap is not really an issue. They really don't want it. And they are counter-attacking with everyone up because they already lost the Southern flag. Rulezik is dead. It's not going well for them, and I think actually Gunrunners are doing well.
Rules is dropped in the Kramwagen, but Gunrunners still have all the HP to be able to trade here. Muka gets the kill onto Storm. Unji is nearly dead in the bat chat. But look at this, we still have the T10s on a heck of a lot of health. You still have Ondrax and his 50B on full health, and everyone else in UTOPIA has taken an absolute pummeling and can't trade right now. That's the biggest problem.
Not only that, they still have both TDs alive. Martin and Dani are alive. And in this part of the game, when everyone is lower HP, they can one-shoot anyone.
Bihu now gets dropped. Papa Power now gets dropped. We have 5 tanks available on Gunrunners to 3 of UTOPIA. And this is going to be 1-1. Looks like UTOPIA just didn't have a plan B in the locker, Mojo.
No, it kind of fell apart because they lost some HP there on the rail. And then they lost the light tank, so they didn't have really a pressure for the cap. They had actually to commit real tier 10s, which have bigger silhouettes and whatever, so they cannot do damage while they're approaching. The game ended up with almost 4,000 HP in advantage for Gunrunners. Good defense by Gunrunners, steady one, smart.
Patient,
And,
very, very well
yes,
played, yeah.
they didn't do anything harshly. It's just Utopia didn't show much on this Himmelsdorf side.
It was an unusual play from Utopia. It's like, okay, we're going to come round, we're going to come to the south side, and it's like, there's some tanks here.
I expected different play. When I told you they're going to try to split them up, when I saw 50 Bs and light going from the upper side, I really thought they will actually do a 3-man cap up
Yeah.
and keep the guys down in a shade. Once they smell that Gunrunners are turning to go up to help the team, push the rail, run away with these guys because they're fast enough, and join from the lower side while these guys are shooting them in the back. So that's something that I would expect them to do. But some of them brought another choice. They just joined everyone, and they thought they will catch Gunrunners off guard and maybe kill a tank for a free, which didn't happen because we saw Gunrunners actually covering the angles well.
Yeah.
And it might have even gone much worse for Utopia right there and then. We saw how Muka actually had luck.
So close that E100 rolling forward could have been clipped out by Ondrax. Danny and FV, top damage there. FC Dynamo next in Utopia, and Bihu behind him from Utopia as well. Nicely played by Gunrunners. They could have, I guess, panicked in a way, but they held their nerve and they held their positions. Utopia, clearly Utopia went into this battle with a particular tactic in mind, but it looked like it stalled really quickly. And this is something that some teams were really guilty of last season, especially, for example, Rage Quit and Rusty Roster was, okay, guys, this is the plan, and then something would happen mid-battle, and you'd be like, oh, crap, and then nothing would happen then from the team. There was absolutely no plan B, absolutely no, okay, well, this is kind of recoverable, or we'll rotate, we'll do something different. And Utopia take a very long time to rotate.
I'm going to be honest with you, this is the only map I thought that Gunrunners can actually take that one game out of Utopia, because the next map will be Prokhorovka, where Utopia played really brutal against Swift. And after that we will have Murovanka, which is kind of traditionally very well played map by Utopia. So I think the hard times and really big challenges are right now on Gunrunners.
Indeed. Can Gunrunners actually take it trade for trade here with Utopia? Or is it going to be Utopia going, right, okay, we've learned our lesson here, like these guys are not the pushovers we thought they would be. We need to like put our thinking caps on and our game faces and go at it proper serious. I don't know, I mean, Prokhorovka, I really like Prokhorovka. It's starting to turn into one of my favourite maps, I think, right behind Ghost Town. Are we going to see stuff different? I mean, it has potential to bring out new tanks available to us. What do you think?
Utopia is bringing new things into these games. So we will see, will they do it in this match also? They are applying the Swedish line very effectively. They're playing aggressive. They play good spotting, good positioning of those. Let's see the highlights of the last game.
This is the big, massive fight up top. I mean, just look at the health pool of Utopia just plummeting there. Really, I mean, when you take the two E100s, you expect the E100s to be at the front blocking shots, and what happened is, I think Mocha was one of the first ones round the corner and got focused a heck of a lot, backed off a little bit. Papa Powan then came forward, and then he was getting focused as well, and you want your E100s to be focused in that situation, but you want them to be able to try and block as many shots as possible, and instead of coming round pretty much almost side on round the corner.
That's the problem with E100s. When you're forced to rotate and go around the corners, you keep taking a lot of damage while you cannot apply that much. And the tanks that were chipped off were the fastest tanks. They made sure Gunrunners to kill off like their butchats and things like that, so they cannot really play flanks. Once we know that, that's a problem. But we can see the lineups, I think, for the next map.
Let's have a look and see what we're going to see on Prokhorovka. Kramwagen and an E5, and we get an S-tank from Utopia on defense.
It's a tier 10 Swedish tank destroyer. We've already seen it used. This was actually their lineup when they played defense last time, so I would say that's their standard at the moment. It was a rather proactive approach they took, and we will see, do Gunrunners have a good way to challenge them, because they took Kramwagen and the tier 9 Arty. Tier 9 Arty M53 was something specifically used only by one team in last season. It was Oops. in multiple occasions. It never worked for them so far. I mean, it really they had huge problems, especially on Prokhorovka. They tried it against Ding first time, but Ding just played super aggressive against them and locked them off. We will see, can Utopia actually do it with this kind of lineman? Because Kranwagen is vulnerable against Arti.
Is vulnerable against Arti now. The STRV, also known as the S-Tank, has some absolutely crazy accuracy going on. It has the siege mode, which increases its elevation and gun depression, but it moves very slowly in that game mode.
But he's a red line sniper.
He's going to be back camping it big time, yeah.
And his super high DPM and accuracy will help. Like, what's the problem here? Gunrunners have a good lineup and they can maybe play even the forest side. But they have only 3 butchots. So that means they will be limited in spotting. If they lose one of the butchots, their mobility over the map is really significantly getting lowered every time like that. While on the other hand, Utopia has an RU light who can play active spotting, he can drive around, he can go in some bush, and they will have really hard time to dig him out if he plays well. And usually it's played by Papa Pavian, so I guess he should play it well. And we will see how will actually Gunrunners try to play against that, because M53 RT is fast and can relocate.
Okay, so we are ready to jump into the action. So let's go into map number 2. It's going to be Prokhorovka. Utopia on the red side, defending. Gunrunners on the blue side, attacking. Both teams do have blue camos, so it might be a bit confusing to new people coming in. The game format we're playing here is the best of 9, which is also known as first to 5. So the first team with 5 wins the match. Matches are played over 4 maps with a tiebreaker map. And it's 2 rounds on each map. One team attacks, one team defends, and then they switch round.
As we were saying, Gunrunners are playing toward the forest here mainly. And of course, Utopia is doing the same as they did the last time. They have no reason. Papa Pavian is doing the forward spotting. Martin already took a shot by that STRV TD.
S-Tank with a cheeky little love tap on the rear end of Martin there. As
he has really good position from there, man. Look at this.
Yep. Nice coverage there. Mucka showing everyone where to snipe from as he goes into a bush. And that'll be him there for a long, long time.
Well, he doesn't even have to, honestly. Like, he can just sit in the middle of the nowhere with Camonet and no one will see him.
Unji there has rations, fuel mojo, and repair pack.
Bold, because you can lose a lot of crew on Kranwagen. It's actually, I think, one of his weak spots.
Having a look around here from where the artillery is sitting. Martin is way over there in a different bush, playing hide and seek.
Do you see something wrong here, Ryan? Who is attacking? Who is defending?
Utopia is defending.
And what are Gunrunners doing?
Gunrunners are playing super... Wait a minute.
Gunrunners are attacking. It's 2 minutes in the game.
Why are Gunrunners not actually being aggressive here?
Because they have only 3 budgets. And any kind of rotation can cost them dearly against Utopia if they are caught off. And RT reload of 40 plus seconds would really not help them. So this is not something good for them. In one moment of the game, they will probably choose like to push with Enrico in 113 and tier 9, VZ. But that STRV, he doesn't have high alpha. It's only 320, but it's 320 every 6-7 seconds.
Papa
Pavian, they found...
shotted. He's not lit. He's dead. He wasn't lit. He wasn't yellow.
No.
Was that because of just the observer mode not working correctly?
No. It was just blind shooting, and they found him. It was a really good guesswork, and this was the only bad scenario that could happen to Utopia, that they actually find a light tank and take him out. Maybe he was using some bush he was using in some previous games, and they were just watching the videos. I don't know. I cannot say that accurate. But at the moment, this is not a good scenario for them. They will need to either put a butchot somewhere to spot their approach and have snipers, or to pull away entire team. Honestly, I would not pull away entire team. I still think they are dominant there.
I'll be 100% honest, Mojo. When you said look at the map and what's going on, I thought there was something glaringly obvious that I was missed out, or that the teams were round the wrong
It's
way
just
or something.
lack of action, man.
It's like every time you and Daki do this to me, I'm like, oh God, what have I missed? What have I missed?
What now? What
have I
now?
done
What
wrong?
now?
I've got to get it right for these guys. Now, Colsoid and Bihu coming round the east flank could be really vital here. It's Maraka actually taking a shot in his Kranwagen, 2 shots in the Kranwagen. A little bit of focused fire there on him, 3 shots, and he loses driver. Artillery hitting him now. Maraka, good night, mate. You got eliminated and focused there.
This is what I said. Utopia should have never split off these budgets. That was probably the worst decision in this moment. They are now defending in 3 against entire team of Gunrunners, and I actually think Gunrunners have this game in their pocket.
Muka needs to pull out the bag here and spit out lots and lots of damage, as we see rules getting dropped as well for Utopia. Utopia down 3 tanks now. Where is the Batchats of Bihu and Kosoi? They need to come in, they need to be doing a heck of a lot of damage, but they have no shots because everyone else in Gunrunners is on the other side of the road.
Look at this thick armor of Muka. Like, they bounced half of the shells before now to him. There was like 3 or 4 shells that didn't penetrate.
Utopia, what was that play? You sent your Batchats round, but you sent them completely far away from the rest of your team. And now it is 2 on 5. Granted, one of them is an artillery.
Still
But that's
5
a
people.
heck of a job for Bihu and Kolsoy to bring this back.
Yeah, still Gunrunners do have 3 budgets of those. And they have Enrico who can they stick in a cap and just play without other budgets defense. So that's, I really don't understand this decision by Utopia to go away with these budgets, because if they were just sitting there patiently, if Gunrunners push, and I think they would push, they would have really a lot of firepower still there. If they didn't push and they cross the rail and try to play that side, they could play a lot of flanking action and rely on experience and other things. So, I don't know. Not the best play, not the best calls, neither here nor in the last game.
It's almost like Gunrunners read that. Like they're saying, okay, let's push. It was the most unfortunate time, really, for Utopia to send the Batchats away.
Gunrunners didn't have other options in my eyes. They were just playing their ABC, and they were like, okay, we killed a light, that's really good, let's try to use it. You could see how those tanks positioned. They put one in front of them, so he would take the bulk of damage. Everyone else was in a choo-choo train behind him. They wrecked Marakar with Arti and some side shots. They really wrecked him, and that was about it. And there was just not enough guns to deal with them.
Maraka got focused hardcore, he got tracked, and then the artillery shot came in, and you saw the modules instantly go red. And before we could even get that out, then the rest of the shots came in and killed him. Nice push from Gunrunners up the 1-2 line. Utopia, if anything, could be guilty of being quite static in that area, not able to react to it. Bihu and Kolozoid need to try and find shots onto the tank in base, which is Enrico. They're going to be going up against him frontally.
It's just yalla time, man.
What you want to do as they charge in. 26 seconds left on the clock, and all the guns from Gunrunners are going to be ready to shoot into the tanks of Utopia. Who's going to go down first, and who's going to actually get some shots out?
Mighty contribution of Arti for those 32 damage. But the tanks are doing far better here.
Focus fire straight into Bihu as he was the first one to pop over. No reset coming in, 5 seconds. They might get the reset just to do it. They do, but well, they're just delaying their death right now. They could focus on Drax. They do. No, they don't have enough HP to trade. Nice shot from Enrico there into Bihu. Colsoid might get a kill on Enrico. Nope, misses one. One more to go. Doesn't get it. Artillery from Danny, and then Rico picks up the kill on Bihu. So, Gunrunners now 2-1 up against Utopia, and pretty much all predictions for the start of this league are just going out of the window.
You still said 5-2, so you might be right.
We did say 5-2. They can still bring it back with the reverse sweep,
But
yeah.
like it's going, as Ducky said, there are no more favorites.
Yep.
And even Gunrunners might pick up the game and throw entire scoreboard to chaos, because you might not even know who can win who anymore.
I think what Daki was saying was quite true. He was saying that Ding are going to take that hit and then they're just going to overcome and adapt. They're just going to look at things, they're going to play it by the book like they always do, and then they're going to be back to being the strong, consistent
They
team.
had some really close games in the start of the last season, like some tiebreakers against Gohard and so on. but it never shook them really hard.
Yeah, because I mean, if you think of Ding basically just being the team they were last season, and they've swapped out Maraka for Elaine, which is a better swap. Sorry, Maraka, you know.
So they have only one player that's like, Koritz, but Koritz is a brain.
Yeah, so I think Ding definitely still going to be the hard ones to beat. But as we're seeing here, Gunrunners, Utopia, we're seeing it from Swift and Oops. Everything else after that is you're as well just throwing a stack of cards up and trying to pick one out.
Man, these blue signs here are so confusing. So Bihu and Muka and Kolesoid from Utopia on the first page, Bihu being the top damage dealer, but you can see Will, Anji, Martan and Ondrax also there. So pretty much mishmash of both teams, but we know the result. And the second page, well, Papa Pavian will be there with 0 damage, that's for sure, with his light tank.
Poor Papa Pawan.
STRV doing 2.1. I think he could have done better. It's unfortunate we can't see how much he bounced, but I'm going to actually check it myself.
Maraka managed to get a shot out and didn't connect with anything. At least he shot, but he still doesn't score higher than Papa Palvin there on the damage scale.
Actually, less blocked by S3AV than I thought. Only 800.
Only 800. Now, back to the drawing board for that one, Utopia. Tried something new, didn't quite work out. I mean, the flank for the 2 Batchats was a nice tactic, but by the time the fighting had started, the Batchats were still late. And I mean, you'd arguably want to say that as soon as the fighting started, those 2 Batchats should have just zipped across and tried to get coming in from the back, but they would have died quickly there. But they were just nowhere to be found. The fighting was happening on the west side of the map, but because of the road has a
Deflate, yes.
Deflate on the other side of it, which means you can't get
I really
crossfire.
don't understand that. That would only have any meaning if other Batchats would be going like that, doing the rotation, so they play something. But why would the Gunrunners even do it? Gunrunners are in really good position to push them. So we really don't know what went with their minds there. It was a mistake. It was a mistake what they did on Himmelsdorf also. And I have no idea why they did this here. But mistakes happen in all the teams, and as I said, I'm very interested to see how will Utopia do in next matches and not just in the first, because the challenges come as the time goes.
Yes, Gunrunners, good that they're starting to get some wins at least. Don't want to repeat of, for example, Legend last season, where they kind of came up and were the whipping boys for everyone else. So
yes,
it's
but there
good
is a
that they're
huge
taking
difference.
some matches.
There is a huge difference here. Legend, even from the start, said they didn't have any plan. They had a huge roster change right before the season. They had those honorable problems and what not happened all there. And they really were not prepared for the season. They were recycling some old tactics that were a couple of months old. They didn't work out. They were losing matches because of that. Players were not aware what they're doing. They were taking so much punishment everywhere. This is completely another story. Gunrunners actually were practicing all the time for the Gold League.
Okay, now let's see what vehicles are going to be used here in round 2 of Prokhorovka. We have 2 Gorillas and the Kramwagen from Utopia on attack here, Mojo. That's quite bold. It's a very lightly armoured lineup from Utopia.
No, this is actually really strong lineup for attack, because the only questionable thing might be Lorraine, but this is exactly the same lineup they use against Swift, up to a tank.
Okay, and Gunrunners going with the IS-7 and the Kramwagen. Looks like potentially some real play expected from those team, from that lineup.
As you remember, I told you, they will try to establish a crossfire with those guerrillas, so some of them can punish Kramwagen when he's speaking to DCAP. Now, will Gunrunners actually play to their hand, or they will just try to cross rail and play the village maybe and provoke a brawl to take out Artie out of equation? We'll see.
Yep, let's find out. We can jump into round 2 here. The teams are ready to go. Utopia red side attacking, Gunrunners blue side defending. Now, are Gunrunners going to make it 3-1, or Utopia going to bring it back to 2-2?
And there we go, Gunrunners are going for the dead side, and they will try to do immediate pressure and not allow them to just control hill and shoot them down easily. We saw already when you lose an Artie in this map early, like Swiftin did in previous game, it's going to be a big problem. Now, Papa Pavian is not atmospheric, so I don't think he will be easily shot, but we need to see how will the rest of the guys fair here, Utopia. Oh,
Dynamo, what are you doing?
No,
That's
no, it's a
bold.
good cross.
Okay,
It's a
that's
good cross,
yeah.
but I was afraid he was actually stuck.
Yeah, that's what I thought for a second. I was like, when he went over the tracks, I was like, oh, mate, if you can get all the way down and safe, then that's impressive. But it's quite interesting how it's an almost complete mirror matchup of what we had in the previous round, where the teams immediately went east, and in the last round, the teams were immediately going west.
And you can see as soon as they saw that Guntunners are coming this way, they are all running away because they know they are quite inferior from this side. And they'll get shot. The only problem is Colesoid.
I was exactly just going to ask that. He can't get out of that position now, can he?
Well, they will probably try to trade in 1-for-1. And then it will be okay.
I wouldn't want to be him in that situation. Because you want to run to the rails, you want to run to the safety of the rails, and you know you're going to get shot in the back
I
when you do
wouldn't like to be the first guy who tries to find him also.
He's going for it. He's going for the run for the rails. Enrico's spotted and spots him. Missed shot from Bihu is starting off with. Enrico getting a shot from someone else there.
And he's
Colesoid gets over, only taking one shot.
He's safe, but Enrico is wrecked.
Nice exchange, and good that they got the tank safe over.
Old dog sniper Bihu, man.
Missed that first one. If he'd got that first one, Enrico would be dead.
Do you know how hard are those shots? Shoot through on that distance, through the bushes. It's good that he even connected those two. He could have easily missed everything.
Yep. Enrico still surviving. No, he's on a one shot, but he can still do his job if he gets a good peek. Just has to be careful not to get himself spotted when he does so. Now, Utopia rotating up now to the west side or the left side of the map. Gunrunners setting out their defense here on the rail track, and it's going to be quite hard to break that down.
Look, Utopia took some lessons from Ding in the last season because this is pretty much strong overall setup. These two Grilles are really good snipers, of course, and they can do some damage to trenched up tanks, but they also have an artillery. So saying that someone is hard to break when you have a lineup like this, no. Like Kranwagen cannot really camp against an arty. Over time he will wreck him. You also have two Grilles spamming heat shells or even HE if needed. So any kind of cooldown against the capping tank will be a problem. And they still have also their own cooldown tank Kranwagen. And honestly, Gunrunners don't have anything to answer on that Kranwagen if he's played well one-on-one. Who will pen him? You need to flank him. And they're really keeping the map tight. So Dynamo is probably the guy who will trigger the cap.
As he starts driving towards it, some blind fire going out to the buildings in the middle to clear them away. Enrico and Danny here on the south of the map. Colesoid's there giving additional cover to Papa Powen on the artillery. We could be screaming his name soon enough if he starts landing shots. And it's really, I mean, it's like going up against when diplomats and artillery. You just don't want to face it, do you? Insane as well when he's in artillery.
Well, the only good thing is this is a huge map, and with Lorraine arty shots can go anywhere, so you can really miss easily on this distance because he's shooting him from K line to A line. I mean, it takes 6 and 7 seconds for a shell to go there, and he can really go on the edges of reticle, wherever.
Cap started by FC Dynamo.
Like, he really needs some target like Anji to be fairly accurate. He will hit it.
Will and Danny taking shots there. Will actually losing his gunner in IS-7. That's not going to be good for long-range shots. It already doesn't have great accuracy at long range.
Anji is still hiding there in a bush. Out of the proxy range, you can see how he is trying not to get accidentally spotted by anyone, because at one moment, if the cap comes too high, he will have to go in that Kranwagen and use his, how did Daki say, Master Ace -12?
Yeah, the gun depression and the armor.
And his gun depression, so he can decap and pull back. So they would not have to suicide anyone. Now, I would say that team like Utopia should know that by now. And there is a big rotation coming from the lower side of the map.
Utopia looking to sweep around the south side of the map, but we have Rules down there as well, giving additional covering fire to Colesoid. Now, who they're going to connect onto once they start coming over, there is 3 Batchats waiting to make a move and focus someone down. Maraka is spotted, but he's in the middle of the map.
He's in that, let's say, rice bowl.
Gunrunners with the gun line, laying into Maraka there. Shot coming back off of Rules, it looked like, in a ricochet off of the Batchat. Someone got very lucky there.
A lot of damage there on Mrakar. and Dynamo got easily decapped by Anji there, who came from the Fade. So far, Gunrunners playing a good plan, but Will is getting handed. He's getting spammed by HE shells, I think, from one of the Gorillas. And that's why he's losing modules so easy. So look at this. He has no medic,
No loader.
but he has no loader, no gunner. I mean,
It's like so bad.
honestly,
It's a horrible combo.
I would say if you lose a driver or commander is much worse than loader in this case.
But losing your loader and your gunner at the same time.
Yeah, but they're not stacking each other. It's like a reload and accuracy. But if you lose commander, you don't know if you are spotted. If you lose a driver, when you're going up for a spot, you cannot go easily down. You are slower to maneuver. So fairly, yeah, I would rather lose one of those than what I said in this situation.
Utopia need to be a bit careful they don't run out of time to be able to do anything. We're down to 3 minutes and 20 seconds.
Because don't forget, they have a commander alive and jack of all trades. And he can like compensate for a bit of this.
For both of them, so his loading is not as bad. Unji could get wrecked in just a second from Papa Palvin.
See? Come on, Arta. Let's see,
Shot.
can you click?
Oh! 736.
It's not all him. I think it's stacked up with the shot he received.
Downtown from Papa Palvin. Maraka moving over in the middle here.
Yeah, this is what they
Cold side
needed
moving
a
over.
while ago before he got shot. But Anji is now in a deep trouble because look at the mass of the red tanks coming around him. I think he will last very shortly.
420, no fire on Unji there, as well as saying here, Maraka just realizes if he peeks over to shoot, he has the risk of being shot by the IS-7. Unji's taking a lot of damage. Buhu rolls over to kill him, and they're going to turn and focus onto Will now as well, and IS-7 as he drops in quick succession. Really strong push there from Utopia, and the tanks of Gunners are starting to fall. Damage is dropping. Martin also taking hits, and this is looking nice for Utopia.
Up to a moment where Gunrunners just after like doing a clip on Mrakar, it was okay for them. It was well planned defense and everything. But after that, they kept playing stale and they left those two heavies at mercy of Utopia without any real defense. And they were split up as much as Utopia was in previous games game on Prokhorovka, and that's why Gunrunners are now in a deep problem.
Oh, Enrico, if only you knew how close you were to Rules. Rules is going to get himself spotted when he turns. Turned his chassis there, which gets him spotted by Enrico. Shots coming in return though. Storm is getting focused down in his Batchat. Left on 225 health. Utopia still with all 7 tanks available to him as Bihu gets the kill onto Martin. Rules still doesn't know that Arhu's right. He knows he's always going to turn and see him now. Goodbye, Enrico.
Aww.
A comfortable win here for Utopia, Mojo.
It just looked like something you know, scratch off your foot.
3-man cap, no resets coming in. Utopia finishing that with almost 6k on the board. 5995, I think, was the total number for health there, and a good recovery from Utopia.
It was a good victory, but I still think like Gunrunners might have won this game. But after they shot on Mrakar, when Mrakar took those 700-800 damage in a flank of his turret, they simply stopped doing anything for the next minute and a half. And Utopia just uses to take the freebie in regard of killing Anji in that Kranwagen and that IS-7. Like, they were completely left alone, covered only by Martin in Batchat. And Martin was easy target because in order to cover them, he would have to climb on the top of the rail and take damage for every shot that he gives. So that's not like 2 tanks they lost there. They lost practically 3 because Martin was on 1 shot left after all of that shenanigans. So rather say mistake that...
Shenanigans.
No, I like it to say like this.
Shenanigans, Mojo, say it.
Shenanigans.
There we go.
Shenanigans. Who cares?
Shenanigans. Good
Yeah.
word. I actually like it. I need to try and use it more often.
It's Mojopedia, man.
Mojopedia. Let's have a look at the damage there, Mojo. See who came out on top for their team. Biku starting to wear his carry pants and starting to show Carry Barry how to take control of damage for your team.
Top 5 damage dealers here for Utopia. Nothing really surprising compared to the HP that was left for them at the end. Well, it's really surprising that anyone from Gunrunners even did any damage there.
Maraka is actually showing that he is a worthwhile pickup for Utopia. He's certainly pulling his weight in the team, that's for sure. Rules and Colozoid, two of the new players as well for Utopia, coming in next in the Grill 15 and Batchat respectively. I mean, top damage and 3 kills on Bihu, you can't really ask for more than that when you got someone playing one of your Batchats. I mean, in return, it didn't go great there at all for Gunrunners. The back 5 lowest damage all coming from Gunrunners there. Not great. I mean, Danny there in the Batchat with 15 shots, only 793, so only connected 2, so a lot of blind fire coming out from him.
That was a lot of shots and a lot of hard shots on great distances. And I believe only connections they really had was on Mrakar, probably, in that moment. But it doesn't really matter. It's 2-2. It's still everyone's game. And we will soon go to next map, which is Murovanka.
Murovanka.
It's a map that Utopia played quite a lot in all of the formats,
if you actually
from 742 onwards.
If you look up Murovanka, it's historically a very nice campsite, apparently.
It is?
Just making it up.
I'm not a big camper, man. Not in a game, not in a life.
The teams just camp use. I mean, Murovanka is. It's not really a dynamic map, is it?
Depends how you play it. We've seen many teams that they know how to aggressively approach as attackers and use every mistake from defender and lock them out. On the other hand, of course, you can just sit in a bush and wait for something to happen.
Let's see the lineups of the teams that are going to be playing here on Murovanka. Now, if anyone's listening, I challenge you to do a tactic with the Type 5 Heavy. We need to see that on Murovanka, but we are going to see a couple of new Swedish tanks here, Mojo, being used on Murovanka.
Utopia attacking with, they're using even tier 10 STRV. That's interesting, that's the new one. But it does look like attack on a top cap with this lineup. On the other hand, Gunrunners, 1, 2, 3, 4, Batchat, TVP, the standard, Emil, and the tier 9 Arty again.
Interesting from Utopia here, they've also got the Object 430 version 2. Let's look at the action here on Murovanka, see who's going to be used. Will it be Utopia or Gunrunners? Let's find out.
Murovanka, a map with a great number of buildings, bushes and trees, amongst which teams hide for most of the battle. The attacking team begins the battle from the top of the village, and the defenders start from the bottom of the map. Both bases are better controlled from the hill near the first base, and from the green in the lower left corner of the map. There are many attack directions. The attacking team often attempts to gain the attention of defenders by putting pressure on the first base, whilst manoeuvring several tanks behind the second base to deliver fire into the defending's flank. Team setups are very diverse, but the players often choose the fastest tanks, even for heavy setups. They could even bring SPGs.
Okay, and here we go. So Utopia on the reds, attacking, Gunrunners blue defending. And Mojo, you called it right with where the S-tank was going, as Mocha is flying over there into the one line.
I guess he will snipe from that one line there. And support. Oh, it's cap pressure. Let's call it the right way. But still, Gunrunners do have that tier 9 Arty. He might get some splash shots. Also, Storm will be there in a corner, so he can land some. But that STRV will be annoying for him quite a lot. And there is a flanking force coming in from Gunrunners. Now, if Bihu smells out those 3 Batchats, Gunrunners are so dead. Because entire Utopia team will just go like a flood straight on them. Look at the amount of the damage. Rulezik connecting and Muka from the other side. Like, he is really lucky no one penned him now. So, yeah.
Bihu,
there we go. Look at the play of Colosoid and the guys. They know what's going on.
Bihu flanked out, spotted. He's got to run. He's got to get straight into that cap circle. As everyone else backs out of the cap circle, they're going to push into Storm, who's actually bouncing a heck of a lot of shots here. This is bad shots from Utopia. Storm should have been dead by now. They've wasted at least 3 shots on him. Here's another shot not killing him. Dynamo coming over and Colosoid. Bihu's taking a lot of damage running away there, so it's a kill for Utopia, first blood to them, but Gunrunners haven't really taken any other damage on their tanks.
Utopia has to flush out Martin immediately. they need to have a guy going there that's Papa Pavian. And if they kill him, they have complete map control. And it doesn't really matter what Dani does unless he's miraculously one-shoots someone right now. Martan is pretty much in a problem here because he is meant to snipe and he has nice DPM, but playing tanks in cooldown is not his speciality. Now, when Papa Pavian gets close to him, it's going to be pretty much it.
He's on a reload. Papa Pavian not quite sure that he was on a reload there.
Yeah, he is.
Martan's going to force back. Dani trying to get the artillery shot. Papa Pavian needs to make these shots connect. He has additional help from his teammates, but now he's forcing Martan into the deflate, which means none of his teammates can help him. Papa Pavian, you need to make this shot, mate.
He did already, mate.
There we go. He gets the kill. Papa Pavian still with a lot of health. Utopia now with still all 7 guns available to them. Gunrunners have lost 2. They've nearly lost Unji as well. Strong start here from Utopia.
It's a good game on Murovanka, and as we said on the start, a team that knows how the map ticks, that understand how they should play, they can play aggressive. You're only scared to play aggressive if you don't know really what to do, if you don't have that kind of a plan.
Oh, Dynamo's caught Ondrax here on the reload. Oh! Oh! Nice one-on-one there. Well, unfortunate for Gunrunners, very nicely played from Utopia. I mean, they've taken a heck of a bit of damage across the board, but you still have Muka here on full health, who's able to just utilise his tank as he starts running the remaining tanks down of Gunrunners, who only have Will in the back chat, Dani in the artillery, who's now on a one-shot.
The Gunrunners simply did not have good enough coverage of their own cap, because the crucial moment whenever you want to rotate like that with butt shots down is to have at least 2-3 tanks covering on that Emil who is in a corner. So while the team is trying to approach him and they're going in full speed and they're just flanking above and trying to kill him, you do damage to them and then you're pulling back down toward the village where the rest of your butt shots are, they can actively cover you. But what happened here, they got spotted far away down. They had scarce tanks everywhere, TVP here, RT here, this tank here. No one who could really do any kind of serious focus fire. And in this kind of case, when it's a faster game, RT is always a burden, especially so high tier RT, because that means you have to have other tank a lower tier again, like the tier 9.
To be fair, I'm glad to see that. I mean, okay, it's in a different position, but you'd normally see it. The other one, the other tank I hate seeing when the defenders use it on this map is the Crusader.
It was annoying, and it was kind of a technically good idea against a certain meta that was at the time, but it actually never worked.
It never, because every time somebody saw it, they're like, oh, he's got the Crusader, well, we just won't do that one tactic, that one thing that is there to counter. They were just like, okay, we won't do that. And then they were like, okay, we've just got a tank that's useless now because A, it doesn't do damage, B,
they missed the spotter. Every time.
Yeah, it was just. I'm glad we don't see it anymore. It was like, okay, it worked as a good counter, but the other team had to have that lineup in the first place for it to work. But, well, unfortunate for Gunrunners, Utopia now back in control of the match here. FC Dynamo and Colozoid, the 2 new guys, doing great for the team. Top damage.
Muka and Rulezik also there. Will and Papa Pavian. My god, these blue colors.
Papa Pavian just farming damage on
So
TVP.
Will and Storm are the only guys here from the Gunrunners on the first page. Maybe we can tell them like, hey, make your emblem something like a big G.
Change the color, yeah. Or
No,
just
big
Utopia. Utopia, change it from the team name to Big U or something like that. Unji there in the back chat. Whoa, no damage and only one shot out. That is, wow, that's not so great.
No, but there is not much to be done when you are so shut off by the enemy team.
So Utopia back in control of this map after a bit of a ropey start. The 5-2 dream is still on, Mojo.
Well, you can still be right, man. But that would mean that Gunrunners are going to get wrecked.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. Well, it might. Utopia are starting to look a bit more together, shall we say.
On the start, I said like Murovanka is probably the most dangerous map for Gunrunners. And I think this is the map where Utopia can actually take them 2-0. Because this is the map they played so many times, even from the old formats in 742, like in different lineups and whatever. they were always a team that was inventive on this kind of the map. And even FC Dynamo and those guys, they played in GGVP and such teams, they were playing this map also well. So there is a lot of understanding here. They know how this map flows, how it ticks. And this is probably the map that other teams should actually avoid against them.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I mean, after this, we're going to go into Mines, where it could be a potential rush for the win. Who knows? I mean, Mines is like I was saying to Daki earlier on, you never get a middle ground on Mines. You either get a quick match or you get a slow match. You never
Mines
get
is a bit different now. Meta is different, but we saw how much it still relies on climbing. But we're still on Muravanka, so let's stick to it.
Indeed, Muravanka. Now, the teams are going to swap positions now, so Utopia is going to be defending against the Gunrunners' attack. I wonder if Utopia are going to continue with like slightly different vehicles than what we get from last year's meta. What do you think, defense?
Dude, they always like these cooldown tanks. So they were playing before with T69s, then they played with T32s, then in tier 10 they play with the E5s and stuff. Before the other guys, now with Kranwagen, so why not?
T32 is like super Pershings and derp guns, Mojo.
32, man. It was an icon until they made a Patriot and they're selling the tank that's superior to both medium Pershing or a T32.
Yeah, it's a bit of a brutal tank, that.
Patriot is a monster. It's a monster tank.
It's basically a armored Pershing.
Yes, it's an agile. It's not as fast as Pershing, but more armor. And it's agile, so you can play it much better than T32, so whatever. But never mind. That's completely another aspect here.
Ignore that. Now, this one.
And you have a silly American flag all over the tank.
Muravanka, round 2, Mojo. How do you see it going?
I said already, I think this map will be the one that Utopia actually breaks off.
Okay, well, let's have a look at the lineups now that the teams have swapped positions and everything's ready to go. Kranwagen, S-Tank again on the defense. E5 is pretty much a similar lineup to what they just took.
And Gunrunners are playing with Grille, Kranwagen, 4 Batchats, and an RU. So slightly better mobility here for Gunrunners, but they don't really have any kind of serious force to dig out those tanks. So that can be compensated. Again, what can decide the game is if they dig out the 3090. If they find Papa Pavian wherever he is, or whoever is on 3090, that can decide the game like on Prokhorovka.
Well, we can jump into the action now. Utopia red team on the defense, Gunrunners blue team attacking.
Well, Shuko is on 3090. He actually played the 3090 Himmelsdorf also.
Yep. And we have, let's see, Danny in the Grow 15 on Gunrunners, Martin on the Kranwagen.
Looks like they're shifting tanks between them sometimes. And immediately Danny started the game well with getting shot.
Oh, Danny.
Danny boy.
Oh, Danny boy, the shots are falling.
He was even spotted. So Utopia already has some info, and he had to use his repair already, so now he has a gasoline so he can burn better and chocolate to speed it up.
Saying Shoku's in a very forward position there, Mojo.
We saw it being used a lot of times. And what's interesting about that position, it gives you early warning when they're coming. That's why all the tanks are so much back. And you can even, if you choose, if they are not already in the village, you can even drive through the bushes and run away. You should always play. When you play bushes, you cannot go and play the most default spots.
Yeah.
Because people know to check out those easier. Then when you need to check out all those like enigmatic ones, you know, that are exotic and rarely used, that's when you see which team is really skilled.
The game of nerves. Sometimes just like, okay guys, I'm parked in bush, give me a call in 5 minutes.
No, if you don't know how to dig out the bushes, you should always make a tactic for a Muravanka that doesn't even rely on doing so, but on rotations and straightforward fight.
Enrico just going in to try and beat out Papa Powan to stick his head out for the reset.
Okay, Will is providing them with back info. Is there any big rotation from Utopia coming down? But I would say Utopia, unless they make a huge mistake like on Prokhorovka, they don't have to do it. Like, if they do any rotation, it should be right through the village immediately, not all the way down.
Looking to use the gun depression here on the S-Tank. He's going to go over beside Papa Powan. Just pause, go into siege mode.
The only problem with him, like Danny can pen him with heat. But Danny needs to see him, and he can't because he's fairly safe. This is like, I don't think Danny can even pen Rulezik when he is well turned.
Martin gets hit, and the Kramwagen loses his gunner. Nice shot, whoever that was.
Yeah, it was Muka probably.
That was a nice pen. Probably got him in the side of the turret, just
again,
like that, yes.
Like he turned so he can shoot, and he actually penned on other Kranwagen.
On the side there.
But he turned the side of his turret. And there is that big lump in the back that turns and opens the opportunity for a shot. Oh, Papa Pavian is spamming him with HE.
Cheeky. Rotation now coming from Gunrunners through the magical forest.
But we already know Shoku is there. Yep. And they still keep FC Dynamo and Colesoid in the back.
They keep going forward and going back, these guys. It's like they started to go that way at the start, then came back. Now they're going forward again.
This is the problem now. Look at this. If Shuko actually spots all these butchers down, the next reaction here from Utopia will be a forward push, and they will just wipe out Dani, Martan, and probably Storm in the process. And those butchers down will not be able to do anything about it. They're well aware of it as a team, but they already know they cannot break the top defense of Utopia. They already gave up on it. This is a plan B, and it's like in domain, maybe it will work.
Oh, Shoku. His little gun sticking out there, and he's moving. He's like, oh, guys, they're getting close.
Fortunately, that does not give up the tank.
Yeah, it'd be brilliant if you get spotted just because the gun barrel is sticking out.
It's actually a lot of part of the tanks when they pick out, they're not giving info. Like tracks, they don't. But any part of turret body, they do.
Ondrax going all the way south, past Shoku. Enrico is spotted.
Look how much they worked on Martin, mate.
Enrico's rushing Shoku. They know where he is.
They have no idea. They have no idea.
Can he not proxy him? Is Shoku have
No, he's not close enough.
Colesoid spotted. Ondrax is spotted as Ondrax takes a shot.
Enrico just went there to hug the house.
Wow.
That's why he went there, because he got shot and that was the only place. Look.
How can he not spot that? Shoku.
Shoku can kill him anytime he wants.
How scary must that be for Shoku?
Look, if you have a good crew and you have rations, and God forbid, Camonet with such a light tank, like someone needs to come literally in like 70 meters to proxy you.
That is insane.
So that's almost a drive-by. And Enrico is probably on the verge of that border. He's probably like around 90 meters.
On the edge of it, like half his vehicle length forward would spot him.
But in order for him to come closer, is exactly. Dynamo is waiting for it. Oh, this is so annoying, man.
Oh, wow.
And he doesn't know he's perma-spotted. That's the thing.
When they watch this back, they'll be like, no!
No, he doesn't know he's perma-spotted. He's probably wondering, how am I getting shot? See, he's shooting
He's like, yo, he's near me. He's near me.
He's shooting to see will he get spotted or something. Is someone there? But he doesn't realize he's actually perma-spotted.
Shoku holding his nerve. How tempting would it be just to get that killing shot?
There you go, he found him.
Is he going to shoot another one?
He's not aware of it that he actually connected.
Oh no, Papa Powen in the meantime kills Martin and the Kramwagen. They are making the move there, Mojo, into base 1 to push them off.
No, they just picked him up, and I don't think they will follow him out much more. They just... Oh, another shot.
Oh, he connected, and Shoku's like, I've got to take the hit, I've got to do it. Shoku would have been counting the shots there as well.
But Shoku will run away on another bush, and that's it.
No, he's getting hit, shot at by Ondrax.
Ah!
Unlucky Shoku. The game is up.
Still, their defense worked. It's like 3 minutes and 20 seconds till the end. Yes, Gunrunners still have an HP, but they lost the light, and they lost the heavy.
Yeah,
and Utopia has entire fighting force, almost unscratched.
2.5k difference here in HP.
Also, let's not forget, they have tanks in position.
I would trade happily an AMX for a Kramwagen. And they've lost Enrico as well.
And there you go.
Unji and Will getting tracked. Unji driving into back and Will taking a massive amount of damage.
He's pretty much checked. He's done. He's
dead. Good night, Will. FC Dynamo getting the kill there. Full health to no health in brief seconds. Papa Powen taking damage now in the E5 as FC Dynamo is now dropped by Ondrax. Still almost doable by Gunrunners, but no, Utopia now starting to close the noose on them, and this is it. Utopia going to be going 4-2, Mojo, it looks like.
Yeah, Murovanka was the bane for them. Utopia really experienced him here. Anji, no commander in Bachat. Not the greatest thing to happen.
Oh, Papa Powen!
He's also in reload, so...
Muka! Ah, Muka!
Dude, like, turning that tank is not really the easiest thing in the world, you
It's
know?
like he went, nuts, I've gone past him.
People told me who played the test RV, I really didn't, that if you're not in a siege mode, you can come almost, you know, like those blind people, like next to someone,
Yeah.
and you press mouse 1 and the shot goes like to shoot airplanes.
It's when you're not in siege mode, the barrel's locked to the hull, so it makes aiming like really difficult. It's because you have no
There is no aiming.
You have no movement at all of the gun barrel. It's completely locked to the hull, so you're aiming just with the hull. Ondrax trying to get some last shots out before he goes down, shooting into Muka, but he's not actually getting any shots through him as Muka hits him back in return. One more shot left. Who's going to get the killing blow onto Ondrax and farm just a little bit more fantasy points for their team? It's going to be Rules. There we have it. Utopia now stepping ahead 4-2 against Gunrunners here, and they're starting to look a bit more composed, Mojo.
Yes, they were playing those maps 1-1. Did some mistakes there, mainly rotational mistakes. I will remind you. Both on Himmelsorf and Prokhorovka, I think they lost both games because they did hasty rotations without any real need. And Gunrunners used it really well, but this Murovanka was fairly one-sided all the way.
Murovanka. It's good to see Murovanka maps not actually get drawn out all the way till the last 9 seconds.
No, this is kind of Murovanka that's entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
I like this.
Mhm.
This is fun. This is fun. Much more fun than some of the other maps we were watching.
Definitely. Some of the, like yesterday's Swift Kazna crew was a bit...
That was a really slow match, man,
Drawn
and a
out.
long one.
Yeah. Now we're going to be going into mines. So this could be over in the blink of an eye, or it could be slowly drawn out. It's all important for the climbs. We've seen lots of just hit the desk and the light flickered. It's not a good sign. We need to get the electricians out to look at that.
Well, let's check out the battle stats first.
Yes, the damage. FC Dynamo.
Dynamo and Papa Pavian.
Dynamo looks like to be a pocket pick for fantasy teams, to be honest. He's consistently scoring high here all the time.
But that's expected from him, man. He's just like a lower price because he came back to the league, but he was always part of the best teams.
He's
as a damage
definitely
dealer.
someone worth picking up for a fantasy team right now. If you're looking for the damage dealer
The problem
from
with him
Utopia.
is his performance in when it comes to like season finals and things like that. Usually the teams where he played just flunk there. But online they were always impeccable and feared.
Oh, poor Will. He got tracked and then got wrecked. Shoku. Shoku's like, I connected! Oh, wait a minute. He got that killing blow when he had 62 health and then just had to run.
But he did his job, man.
Yeah.
And he bought him like 3 minutes there, easily.
Enrico with the damaging shots into
Let's check
Shoku.
something more interesting, like how much spotting damage he had.
I was saying Shoku
It's
counting
like
the shots,
1500.
but
That's fairly okay.
I didn't realise that I wasn't paying attention to the fact Enrico is in the RU251, so Shoku couldn't have been counting shots because he's not in an autoloader.
Yes.
Nah, I'm so used to AMX 3090s all the time, and it's only recently teams have started to play into the RU251. It's usually always the autoloaders.
No, Ryan. No. They play RU all the time.
Really?
Yes. Whenever
Wow.
you want to do a fast driving spots, you use an RU. When you want to do something more passive, you use the 3090.
Well, let's have a look at the lineups for Mines, Mojo. What do we see here?
Utopia
What?
playing defense with Arta. And 2 Ice Wars. And a Kranwagen. Wow, come and break this. This is a rusty roster from the start of the season, man. They copied their lineup more or less.
This is what's known in football as parking the bus.
And Gunrunners playing nicely with Butchots and some heavy tanks and TVPs. Dude, like this Arty, if he gets shot on anyone.
Good
Pain.
night, sweet prince. And it's going to be Papa Pavan on the artillery. Can he do it? Let's find out. Will Utopia make it 5-2? Or is it going to be 4-3? Let's jump into Mines. Oh, Papa Powen in this artillery could be shattering dreams of gunrunners here.
And that RT piece is going down on K4, so he will be ready to deal with the number 2 cap. That's why you go with RT down. Let's see Bihu, crucial moment. Yes, he
somebody
does it.
made the climb first time.
No, we also saw one more team today do it.
Yeah, we've also seen fails. Oops, failed it again.
Yes. Oops, did it again.
Oh, Bihu. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Secure.
Oh,
Yep,
just.
he is. And
Martin.
690
Danny
damage
getting
there on Danny.
One of the gorillas.
Dynamo, 100%.
Okay. Ondrax blind shooting across into where he thinks Papa Powen will be. Oh, he's so close with his shots. If only he knew.
I wonder did they see him or they blind shooting where they think the TD is.
Maybe, yeah, maybe they think Grill could be there.
But this is really good now
It's
for
going to be a return
Utopia.
shot from Papa Powen soon. I wonder where he's aiming right now. It's Martin spotted, but he's moving.
This is really good for Utopia now. They have a crossfire wherever they want, man.
We've got Circle, we've got Dots Mojo.
We got dots! You took only 2 games!
Maybe it's map dependent, because it seems to happen that we seem to get it on mines.
Maybe we should start with mines every day.
Yep. Danny taking another bit of damage there.
Come on, Danny, check out once more his grilla there,
Look
man.
at all the
Just
pocket
come
marks.
back in 10 seconds on the same spot, bro.
Look at all the dots behind him where all the shots have landed. Come on, Papa Powen. As much as I don't want someone in Gunrunners to get their day ruined, I do love it when big arty shots come in.
Especially if it's by him.
Oh, he's looking over here. Nobody's spotted yet.
Dude, American artists are so sometimes superior to everything else in the game, like M40 tier 8, M53 tier 9, T92 also. Like they're really just
Unji's
good.
over that area and Martin's moving up into it. Martin could move right into where Papa Powen's aiming, and he is.
Oh,
They're
ho,
going
ho.
for Unji.
Oh,
Oh,
ho, ho.
Unji. Oh, this is going to hurt
Click,
you more than it's going to
click,
hurt me.
click. No.
Oh!
It wasn't a full aim, and he
Yeah.
was just like, maybe.
A snap aim, yeah. Fell short. Dynamo spotted in the gorilla.
Very slow play here by Gunrunners, but honestly, it does feel at the moment they have no idea what to do.
They don't seem to be particularly... I mean, they're definitely not going for anything base 1. Base 2, they're just trying to feel out where Utopia are. It looks like they're just trying to want to trade damage with them, which is not really the way to play mines. Ondrak's going up for the climb at the back here.
Only way for them to break this would actually be to push that 8-9 line, because Mrakar and Colesoid would not be a part of defense, and RT would be just a partial opportunity to hit something. Dynamo would be a part of that game, Bihu and both of the heavy tanks, of course, Muka and Rulezik there, but that could be a fair trade, and then it would be everybody's game. But even like that, I kind of have a feeling that Utopia has a better plan.
Maraka is the only person to have taken damage so far in Utopia.
Yeah, probably the one on least important position. Oi, 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 oi,
there's
oi,
the
oi, oi,
shot.
oi.
Oh! 812
See ya.
into the engine deck, and then the Kramwagen finishes him off. Papa Powen!
See ya. Wouldn't wanna be ya.
Oh, man. Do not give that man artillery.
Ben pick. Yes, you
Ban
can take
pick,
Arti,
yes.
but not Papa Pavian.
Yes. Bring in the band picks. Like, okay, like, we're going to just remove
We're gonna give you
artillery.
Arti, but without him.
Yeah. And what vehicle you ban? We banned Papa Powen. No, what vehicle? No, we're banning Papa Powen. Return fire coming back in. I wonder if he's like, when he's doing that, he's like giggling with glee that he's
Probably
gonna
he is. I saw him live, so he looks like a guy like
ruin someone's day.
He's a nice guy, actually.
Artillery. Fair
For
and,
an Arti player.
fair and balanced. Wouldn't you agree, Mojo?
Slightly. Man, I'm trying to do my Arti missions last day for that 260, and every time I play it, I feel so dirty. It's like a mixture of being angry when they just abandon something and lights just get in base and kill you, or complete sense of like, oh man, I ruined someone's day today, like when you do
Unji.
2k damage.
Unji. Oh no. Oh, it's twice he shot across him.
Three times.
And it fell short each time.
3 times he shot there.
Yeah. And he's not had it right over him as well, so the RNG is not on Papa Pavin's side.
But look at this,
For
5
shooting
minutes
Unji.
are in, man, and GRS actually has no idea what to do.
It's very static, yeah. They don't have any kind of concrete plan. Martin's going to get wrecked trying to make this crossing.
Oh, he might even make it. Mrakar missed him.
Maraka should have connected with that one.
Yeah, he should have, but he didn't. Still,
Now
there is
Kolozoid's
Kolozoid
in a
there.
bad position. He
No,
missed
no,
the
no,
first
he
shot.
must stay there.
Yeah, but I mean, Kolozoid is like already on about half health, so he can't really trade with Martin here. Uh-oh.
There is someone who can.
Uh-oh.
And Martin, oh, he's not, is he even aware that Artie can shoot there?
Maybe.
He should be.
He'll find out the hard way, I'd imagine, if he tries to get shots on Kolozoid.
Mrakar took another damage here from Anji.
Lost his driver as well,
Oh,
Zenrico
he's
is
getting
trading.
really wrecked by Anji.
Anji! Martin got hit with artillery. He's lost his commander, he's lost his gunner. Now he's getting shot at as I guess we're going to see Kolso go in for the kill.
But mind that, Anji lost his
Kolso
head.
hasn't taken any damage. Kolso can trade with him, but Kolso's in a reload.
Yes, that's because he did most of the damage to him.
Oh, Gunrunners. You just don't really have a plan here at all.
I
Nice
think
shot
it's
across
fairly
onto
safe to
Biku.
say here that this game is pretty much done.
Raka just taking multiple shots to the face here in his IS-4. Danny down to a one shot now, 280 health. It wasn't a commander actually, it was Martin had a damaged viewport there. As Kolso goes over and gets the final kill.
Yeah, this is just like a mop-up operation now. And we can fairly say you were right, Ryan.
5-2! Wow, I called something right for once, Mojo. That's me, that's all my luck done for the entire season. Storm picking up the kill on Muka. So Utopia are not going to get a clean sweep with 7 tanks alive, but FC Dynamo is stalking Storm here. Nope, he shoots Will instead. Storm gets shot at by Rules, who climbed in the Kramwagen, and all we have is Enrico left. Can he kill Maraka? No. 418 Maraka, not quite good enough. Oh, Maraka actually does get to kill somebody else, got the 418 damage into him. There we go, so Utopia beating Gunrunners 5-2, and Utopia are on a win streak.